thanks for bringing that up, because I personally don't believe that people of Homa Bay are not paying out of pocket. Our experience here in Nairobi is totally different. Maybe we need to benchmark. But because there is a ground person here, Chair, allow me to hear from the MCA there. If the Sergeant at Arms can give him the mic, I want to know his experience with his people there in his village. He can tell us his word, whether really people are not paying out of pocket in Homa Bay. Because here in Nairobi, we are still having cases of people going to the facilities and being asked to pay money out of pocket, and it's not a small number. Honorable
Senator Sifuna, you'll allow me to give the directions.
That's why I asked you, but
we be careful not to mix what SHA ought to deliver globally versus the responsibility of Homa Bay County. Because I hear you, I feel you. You want to pick a sample, and we have seen there are issues around SHA. There are issues around SHA. And but it is not for this governor to defend SHA unless you became the government spokesperson.
No, Chair, you know, when I was speaking, you were a bit distracted. You have framed it for us that we needed a breakdown, yes, to see what really is the situation. Because when the county claims that the bulk of this money is actually reimbursements from SHA, and we in our counties are having challenges, we have to interrogate. Maybe there's something we are doing wrong, or there's something that we can learn from Homa Bay.
Was there SHA in this financial year, or this was NHIF?
This was NHIF because SHA started in October, which would now become the financial year 2024-2025.
Correct.
So what we're discussing now is NHIF.
So yes, this is NHIF. So and maybe the question is the NHIF outstanding reimbursements, yeah, whether they were received in full. Because I think that's a national problem for this particular financial year.
No, Homa Bay is owed over 100 million in NHIF claims that were not fully given to us.
So ideally, this should have been at least 941 million, if the 100 million had come.
If the 100 million had come in, yes.
Okay, so members, I'm not defensive. I'm just drawing the line that these are numbers relating to NHIF, and SHA will be in this current financial year.
Yeah, there was a discussion that happened prior to this meeting beginning, where we were suggesting that maybe we should let the vice chair chair today's meeting. I am increasingly getting convinced that you need to move to the next chair, because this is your home county and you might have biases that you might not even be aware of yourself. Because we want to learn. We want to learn from what Homa Bay is doing. The rosy picture that has been painted for us really doesn't make any sense, because we have different experiences in our counties. So when I request the MCA, he's here. Let him tell us his village, the one he represents, is what we are being told the situation that is obtaining on the ground.
That is in order. And for the record, my vice chair is also the vice chair of ODM, so that is also not very useful.
Can I chair?
But chair, I wanted to chair.
Okay, order. Let's get back to the issues.
I wanted to be very clear that a big portion of the money that we are receiving is from insurance. People also pay out of pocket. That is also the situation. People also pay out of pocket. But if you compare it to the percentage that we receive from insurance, the percentage from insurance is way higher than what people are paying out of pocket, particularly in the financial year that we are speaking about, which was 2023-2024. But even now, people still pay out of pocket, but the percentage that is paid out of pocket, and this is not because of that the numbers are few. It is because that what people can afford to pay out of pocket is much less than what the insurance will reimburse. For example, if you have 1,000 people paying 1,000 shillings, and you compare it to just one procedure that is going to bring in 100,000, that is why the amount that is being paid from insurance is higher than the amount that is being paid out of pocket. And that is what we explained. And the amount of money that has been consolidated there should be broken down. Because in our financial reports every month, it is broken down as level 4 facilities by name. I don't know if we can get just a sample report that we receive at our revenue roundtable so that the senators can see it. It is the level 4 facilities. It is the other facilities, that is level 2 and 3. they are put under one line because they are many. And then it is public health revenue. And then in that report, there is FIF, and then there is what the insurance is going to pay. There is the money that people are paying from their pocket, and then there is money that is paid over.
So, Governor, to help you, going forward, we must demand on that. We must demand for that disclosure. I think that's the reason why this question is arising, because we are used to seeing that breakdown in other county reports. Do you want the MCA to respond first? Or?
Yes, he will. But I just make a comment on what she just said. You know, that which she says would have been given to us, if we had it, well, there will be no question. But you see, we don't have it. What we have is a disclosure of 841, all coming from level 4. We can only engage with that. We cannot engage with what we don't have.
Agreed. Governor, you get the point that disclosure ought to be there. And if it's available, just circulate it. I think it can help to allay some of the fears that we have.
Chairman, we can share a sample of 1 month report as we receive it. We can send it to George.
Send it to George.
And
he can circulate to the members.
The facilities are listed. Then the level 3 facilities are lower level facilities are listed. Then the public health revenue is listed, and then it is broken down, and it is from all facilities.
Okay. The Honorable Wanga, don't make a speech. Just deal with the question raised by Senator Sifuna, even though the governor seems to have touched on it. The question was whether Senator Sifuna just frame it precisely, or Wanga is a politician. He might start singing and making a speech.
It's a yes or no. Are your people being asked to pay anything when they go to hospitals? It's that simple.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Because I've been given a conditional question, and you want me to say yes or no, the answer is yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think the governor, you alluded to it. Yes. So some of the things we are hearing in the political platform might not be factual. When you're told that Wendo Hospitali level 1 up to level 4 no usilipe chochote, but kwa ground things could be different. But since this system started in October, I think it is in this forthcoming financial year that we'll be able to get a better view on it. You know, Governor, this would be very simple. The auditor raised this and it found its way all the way to the Senate. Where were these contracts when the auditor was asking these questions? Because he says you are paying 5% to a system vendor, but that is not captured anywhere in the contract. And if it was available, I believe that your receiver of revenue would have just furnished the OAG with this information. And the risk we run is now processing information that could be doctored for all that we know.
Chair, you know the county attorney is a person that I know personally and have a lot of respect for. I do not doubt his ability as a lawyer. In fact, for full disclosure, he has represented the party that I ran before he joined the county government of. So I am sure he knows that there are terms that go to the root of a contract, and there would be no excuse for those terms to be left out of the main contract and then subsumed in an addendum. That doesn't make sense to me. Governor, you have said there's a reference to the 5% in the main contract. I'm still struggling. I don't know if my colleagues have
the documents are likely unclear.
Could you look at the last page of the contract where there is a table?
There's a long table that goes all the way to licenses and permits, disputes.
The very last page.
Chair, can I just guide?
Yes.
Okay. If you go to the addendum to contract, and you see, because we are all grown-ups here, we can agree when mistakes have been made and corrected. If you go to the addendum, which is 6K, Honorable Chair, 6K, the addendum to contract agreement has recitals. Those recitals, I believe, are laying a historical foundation for the addendum. And it acknowledges that at the time of execution of the contract agreement, the parties were yet to agree on the contract period. This is 6K.
The second last
Page
whereas.
2 on 1, 2, 3, 4, paragraph that appears at number 5 there, paragraph 5. Not the ones, the whereas, the recitals. Yeah. It says, at the time of execution of the contract agreement, the parties were yet to agree on the contract period and therefore did not provide, therefore, in the special conditions of contract.
Yes.
You are acknowledging that such a fundamental issue as the time of, or the contract duration was not agreed upon. And then you go to say that this addendum is necessitating the provisions that follow there, including the contract period and the other terms there. So you can say it was an oversight in the initial contract, or it had not been agreed as your document itself is saying.
Chair, the point I was making, Chair, was that the 5% commission was part of the original contract. What was not contained, what is contained in the addendum is the period of the contract.
But Governor, we can't see it.
Okay.
Chairman, can I be allowed to provide this clear
Maybe you have
copy
a
of the
clearer
contract?
copy.
You see, the challenge is this, Governor.
We are not
This
reading-
auditor was in Homa Bay
Yes.
and asked that question and captured it in the management letter and captured it in the draft certificate. It was not responded to. What is a justification that today in Nairobi it is being responded to and yet it wasn't done during that audit period? And I think that's why part of our recommendation was administrative action on the officers who failed to provide the documentation on time in the event that the documentation existed. Was there any administrative action taken?
Chair, and in addition, to be fair to us as your members, we are not reading anything. So even if the governor refers until cows come home on the aspects of the contract, we can't read. And a number of us are legal experts, Chair, and we really wanted to get into the substratum of the issue. So how will we assist the Chair, to be fair?
Yeah, Chair, finally,
yes.
For the benefit of the people of Homa Bay, I think the most critical thing is the cost that the people of Homa Bay are incurring. Governor, I cannot believe personally that such an important matter would not be contained in the document itself in a more prominent manner. Because anything, even if you are buying mandazi, the first thing you ask is how much is this thing? And the contract has to provide for it. So it is unbelievable. And as I said, I have a lot of respect for your county attorney. If mistakes were made, we can just own up and say there were mistakes.
Like, Chair, this is more than a mistake. Eh? Because are you through the Chair, Governor, are you saying that the 5% is provided for on the last page of?
Yes, the 5% is provided on this contract where it says summary of costs. And Chairman, if you allow me, I would like to table a clear. I would like to apologize for the document not being clear, and I would like to table, Chairman, if you agree for your purpose, a clearer version of the contract document.
It's
9 copies, so that
it's,
through the Chair is enough.
sometimes you are constrained to take new evidence at this point,
Yes.
but because you are quasi-judicial, maybe first table it to the clerk and then we'll take a view. But you see the
But
point.
does it mean we don't interrogate that aspect? Because now
No, we
are not saying-
definitely would, because in line with Senator Sifuna's query, the first page of the contract agreement talks about the 28 million.
Correct.
So the curiosity is why the 5% was captured in an appendix on the last page of the contract. You see, that's a reason for curiosity.
Yes.
That this could have been an afterthought or this could have been an insertion to an original contract that wasn't there. And that is why the Auditor General asked that question, and it was not answered when the Auditor General was in Homa Bay.
Chairman, I want to say that, and this is under oath in the House here, that if the figure had not been part of the main contract, it would not be in anybody's interest to insert it and then say it is part of the original contract. So it was there, Chairman, but the reason it wasn't provided, I want to agree with the committee that the document should have been provided to the auditors in full, including the addendum, so that we did not have to raise this issue here. And Chairman, I want to assure you that whoever did not provide the document, we will take administrative action against them.
Governor, unfortunately, we have taken your copy of the document.
Yes.
And the beauty with this agreement is that it is signed on every page. Governor, if you look at the signatures on the previous page and the ones on this last page that you are now providing, they don't look the same. They have been signed by different people, and yet the people who have signed from the beginning are consistent. What is the explanation there? Just look at the previous page, Appendix B. The document, the page you are looking at is the Appendix C, Summary of Costs. Just flip one page back to Appendix B and look at the signatures down there.
Go back as many pages as you want.
There is one distinct signature on Appendix C that is not on the other pages.
Yes.
This one that looks like a millipede.
But I wanted to understand, ordinarily, just for the perspective of people who are not fishermen, like the chair, how much do you charge for these so-called landing fees? Because I want to understand something, Chair. How much is it?
Okay, as the Governor responds, I think we, on the efficiencies or inefficiencies of SHA, the person who should be sitting there is Aden Duale. Unless, Governor, you want to defend Duale's issues, just deal with your issues in Homa Bay. To avoid a very broad conversation that will take us to an area where you do not have subject matter expertise. I think what Senator Sifuna said is a fact, and it is not only happening in Homa Bay, it's happening across the country. I think for SHA, let's go back to how your numbers will look like with the introduction of SHA. I think that's an important thing for us to understand from Homa Bay.
Chair, you made me forget one other thing. In the disclosures themselves, if you look at note number 8, which covers the hospital fees, Governor, you have attributed the bulk of the money from, in terms of the income for the facilities, to payments from insurance and SHA. Now, you have only disclosed level 4 hospitals. Are you saying these are the only hospitals that are paid by SHA in the county? Do you have any other levels of hospitals? And where is the revenue from those?
And I think what we have seen in that kind of disclosure is that you indicate whatever rebates came from NHIF, whatever rebates came from Linda Mama when it used to be there, and whatever was collected from facilities. In this case, you have not provided that breakdown. So it's very difficult to establish the facts around what you had said.
Thank you, Chairman. In terms of the question of the levels of facilities that are receiving money, in 2023-24, we were on NHIF mostly, and NHIF was mostly giving money to level 4 facilities, with exception of Linda Mama, which was being given to facilities, lower level facilities that were charging. Now, with the SHA, now you have the reimbursement of the primary health care fund that is going to lower level facilities, and that's why we are saying lower level facilities are not expecting any money from the public. That is level 2 and 3, because they are getting the primary health care fund directly from SHA. So moving forward, Chairman, we have seen 2024-25, the revenues have actually gone higher. What has happened is out of pocket has reduced. And why has out of pocket reduced? It has been because of the, and I'm not speaking about for SHA generally. And the reason I also responded to the issue of Nyandiwa was I was responding to the specific Homa Bay question. And even the politics I was referring to was specific Homa Bay politics, not necessarily national politics in that sense. So what we have seen in 2024-25 is an increase. Why? Because and a reduction of out-of-pocket expenditure, but an increase in the amount of reimbursement. This is because SHA has removed the waiting period. The 2 months that you had to wait, the 60 days that you had to wait in NHIF. So if I arrive at a facility and I need to, spend 10,000, but my SHA for the whole year is 6,000, I will pay SHA for 6,000 and then I will receive treatment. So this has seen more people paying in the SHA, and therefore the amount of money that the hospitals are receiving in reimbursement has grown. And the amount of money people are spending on out-of-pocket has reduced. Not for any reason, just because people can pay immediately and get services. The viability of that, or the question of its sustainability and so on, I think that's what you said is a different question, and is a question to be answered by a different person.
There's a capitation. Is it 9,000 on average? It is
900 shillings.
So what does that mean? Is that what reverts back to the facility?
Yes, that is paid to the facility on the
Per
basis.
visit or annually?
No, is it per quarter? It's per person annually. It's per person annually.
Annually.
Yeah.
So is that equivalent to the reimbursement that you're talking about?
Primary healthcare fund, yes, for the primary healthcare.
So 900 per person annually means that you need 1 million people to make the 900 million that you're making now.
Yeah, a lot of the 900 million is based on SHIF. It's the insurance part, where you conduct a surgery, and one surgery will be 70,000, 100,000, even 200,000 sometimes. So a lot of that is in the category of the insurance, not of the primary healthcare fund.